Afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the program. My name is Danielle Ball. I'm a librarian in the Business and Economics Department at Los Angeles Public Library. Thanks so much for being here and joining us. If this is your first time tuning in, just want to let you know that I do host these small business live streams on most of the first Wednesdays of the month at 12 noon. We here at the library organize these live streams and bring them to you along with an organization called SCORE Los Angeles. And during these live streams, we cover a wide range of small business topics. Today's presentation, the topic is automate your SEO using AI, ChatGPT, and Google Gemini. So we obviously have a very interesting presentation topic today that I'm excited about. And we also have a great presenter who I will be introducing shortly. But before I do that, I just want to go over a few housekeeping items. So first thing, as a reminder, we are recording this live stream. And so what that means is that this presentation is going to be available for you to watch later here on the library's YouTube channel. So don't worry too much about taking notes. If you need to leave early or anything like that, it's all right. You will have access to the presentation here on YouTube. And of course, you will be able to share this presentation with your friends and colleagues through the library's YouTube channel. The other thing I want to go over is about questions from you, the viewers. We would love to hear from you. If you have any questions for the presenter, go ahead and ask them. What you're going to do is you're going to log into your YouTube account and just simply type your questions into the chat box. Feel free to submit your questions at any point during the presentation. Our presenter is going to be answering questions as they come in. So don't hesitate to ask if you'd like him to clarify at any point or provide any more insight on anything you're interested in. If for some reason we don't get to your question during the presentation, we'll try our best to kind of circle back around and get it answered at the end. But like I said, just feel free to submit those questions and we'll kind of take them as they come. All right, so with that said, I'm very happy to introduce our presenter for today, Brandon Leibowitz. Brandon is the founder and operator of SEO Optimizers, which he founded in 2007. And SEO Optimizers is a digital marketing company that focuses on helping small and medium-sized businesses get more online traffic that converts into clients, sales, and leads. So we're very happy to have Brandon here to discuss a very interesting topic. And Brandon, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you for your presentation.
Thank you for having me on. Thanks everyone for coming out today. My name is Brandon Leibowitz, and I will be sharing today how to automate your SEO using AI. And a little bit about myself is, my name is Brandon Leibowitz. I've been involved with digital marketing since 2007, got my degree in business marketing. And after I graduated from college, one of my first jobs was helping a company out with their digital marketing, which I didn't really know much about it. They didn't really teach it to you in school back in 2007. And I told the company that, and they said, don't worry, we're new to this as well. And we're going to learn with you, taking you to classes and workshops and seminars, kind of similar to this. And after doing that for a few months, just realized this is the future and everyone's probably going to have a website. And SEO is just a way to get free traffic. And I thought, who doesn't want free traffic? So over the years, I worked at different advertising agencies as a director of SEO. And before work, after work, and on my lunch breaks, I'd work on my own company and eventually built that up to where I was able to quit my job and been doing this ever since, just helping people tap into that free traffic from Google. And for today, I want to discuss what AI is, talk a little bit about ChatGPT, talk about Google's AI, which is Gemini. I'll show you then how you could use AI to help research keywords, to find high search volume keywords that have low competition, so you can incorporate those into your website. I'll show you how you can have AI help you create content for your website, whether it's articles or blogs or even social media content, email, anything related to content. It can help you with that. It helps you with competitive analysis, because the way SEO works is I could see what you're doing and you could see what I'm doing. And with AI, we could look at your competition and see what keywords are they using. And then we could start incorporating them into your own website and making those changes in your own website using AI as well to help make some of those coding changes. And then I'll also touch on some ethical considerations about AI and how to use it, best practices. But AI or ChatGPT is a natural language processing tool that was created by OpenAI and launched in November 30th of 2022. And OpenAI is backed by Microsoft, and Microsoft is Bing. So when ChatGPT was released, it was put into Bing, and Google got really nervous. So Google made their own version of AI called Gemini, but ChatGPT is free to use. If you go to chat.openai.com, you can pay for a paid version, which is $20 a month, and it is well worth the $20 because I'll show you later on, but it can create content for you. And in the past, I'd have to pay writers $50 to create one page of content, and AI will create infinite amounts of pages of content for you for that $20 a month. But this is what ChatGPT looks like, which it is just looks like a search engine. It has a little search bar similar to what Google has, and you could ask questions and it'll give you those answers, kind of similar to what Google is, but it's a little bit more interactive. But again, Google got a little nervous once ChatGPT was released because Google said, we can't have Bing have AI. We need to have AI as well. Google's been working on AI for a long time, over a decade. So Google released their natural language processing tool in 2023, March 21st, which was about 5 or 6 months after ChatGPT was released because Google didn't want to lose that market share. Google doesn't want people going on Bing just to be able to use ChatGPT. So Google said, nope, we got to release our AI. It's free to use as well, or you could upgrade for $20 to the premium version, and you could sign up at gemini.google.com. And as you can see, it looks very similar to ChatGPT, and it also looks very similar to Google. So just be aware that these are all very similar. They're just search engines rebranded and changed a little bit, but they are a lot more powerful than just a search engine because they could do a lot of stuff. They could do a lot of tasks for people. And one of the nice things, or a big one that AI could help out with, is keyword research. So it could help you come up with ideas of keywords related to your business. So you could say, here's my business. Can you give me a list of keywords related to this business? And it'll show you the search volume and how competitive these keywords are. So you could see how many people search for that keyword every single month. Maybe you want to use a synonym or a plural or a singular or another variation, because little changes to the keywords could have a big impact on search volume. One of my clients, they're a personal injury law firm. They want to rank for personal injury lawyers, plural, which is great. It gets 20,000 people a month searching for that keyword. But personal injury lawyer, singular, gets 200,000 searches every single month. Just by removing one letter, they get 10 times for traffic. That's why keyword research is very, very important to find good search volume keywords that have low competition. And the way to find low competition keywords is we want keywords that are called long tail keywords that are 2 or more words. The more words in a keyword, the less people search for it, but the more buyer intent. And traffic is great, but do you really care about traffic? Not really. People want sales, leads, phone calls, conversions. Traffic doesn't really mean much unless they're converting. And by using long tail keywords, that's going to get you more targeted traffic. That's going to be more likely to want to convert. Let's say, for example, you're selling men's tennis shoes and you come to me and say, hey, Brandon, I want to rank for the word shoes on Google. I'm like, we could rank you for the word shoes, but how many of those people want men's tennis shoes? Less than half of those people. So if you rank for the word shoes, you're going to get a lot of traffic, but a lot of those people are going to hit that back button saying, this is not what I was looking for. That tells Google your website's not the best. It's a bad user experience. And Google, instead of ranking you higher, they would drop you down in rankings, which we don't want that to happen. So shoes, not a good keyword. Men's shoes is a better keyword because you're selling men's tennis shoes. So if you want to rank for the word men's shoes, that's great. You're going to get a lot of traffic, but still a lot of those people are going to hit that back button and say, I wasn't looking for tennis shoes. I was looking for dress shoes or sandals or whatever it may be. So you're still going to get a lot of people that hit that back button. Not the best user experience. If you want to rank for the word men's tennis shoes, much better keyword. Less people are going to be searching for it. But the people searching for it, they know they want men's tennis shoes. Great keyword. But you could take it one step further and you could say, my keyword is men's tennis shoes, size 10, color white. It's a very long keyword, but the people searching for it, they know what size, what color, what style. They're ready to make a purchase. They're lower in that funnel. And so the longer the keyword, the more buyer intent behind it. AI could also help you extract keywords from content. So you could say, here's a blog post I wrote. What keywords do you think this is about? And then it'll tell you what keywords this blog post is about. And you can see, is it showing the right keywords or is it missing keywords? And that lets you know, maybe I should add more keywords, or maybe I should take some words out because it's showing me for the wrong keywords. But you could also do the same thing for your competitors and say, here's a link to one of my competitors' articles or blogs or pages. What keywords are they targeting? And we'll pull that out for you. And then you could group these keywords into related topics to help you better just sort through all these keywords. It's a lot easier if I show you versus just telling you all this stuff. So I can show you using AI. Let me see how I switch my screen over and let me share AI. So hopefully everyone can see this is ChatGPT. And if I want to rank for keywords, so if anyone has a keyword, if you want to throw it in the chat, I'll show you how I can do keyword research using your keyword. And basically what we want to do is, I have the premium version as well. So I'm using the paid version, but you could use the free version. It's fine. But the paid version is just going to have better results and just give you a little bit more insights for $20 a month. It is well worth it. But I don't see any keywords in here. So we can just go back to that same example. So if you're selling like men's tennis shoes, we could say, give me a list of keywords related to, and I put in quotation marks, men's tennis shoes. By putting in quotation marks, that means it's only a search for that phrase and it's not going to show you other weird stuff that might pop up. So here is a list of keywords that are related to men's tennis shoes, which is great. But I mean, this doesn't really tell me much because I want to know how many people search for that keyword every single month. I don't want to just know a list of keywords. This is good, but I want to know how many people search for it. So I could ask AI, say, give me search volume and competitiveness in a table, and it'll give me all the data in a table with the amount of monthly searches that these keywords get, which this helps much, much more. Now I can see men's tennis shoes gets 1 million searches every single month. Tennis sneakers for men gets 301,000 searches every single month. Best men's tennis shoes gets 90,500 searches. So this, as you can see, it's not giving me all the keywords. So I asked it to give me a list of all these keywords in a table, and it did not do it. It only gave me like half of them. Sometimes you have to ask Google or AI a couple times to do it, and eventually it will do it. So if it doesn't do what you ask it the first time, you might have to ask it 2 or 3 times. It's really strange, but it sometimes needs that extra push because AI is very, very new. And also it's very new and it's learning. The more people that use it, the more it's going to learn. So also a lot of the stuff that AI puts out is not correct either because AI does AI hallucinations. And if it doesn't know the answer, it's going to make it up. And it's not going to tell you that it's making it up, which is a little weird. It should tell you that it's making it up, but if it doesn't know the answer, it's just going to make something up. So this men's tennis shoes might not get 1 million searches a month. It might get something much, much different, but AI is just telling you this is what it thinks. So it's a good starting point. You just got to take everything with a grain of salt that AI tells you because it's not accurate yet, but it's better than nothing. The way I like to do keyword research is by using a tool called the Google Keyword Planner, and it's free from Google. And this will show you the search volume from Google. So you just search on Google Keyword Planner, and then you have to log in. And once you log in, then you'll be taken to a page that says, put your keywords in here. So let's go back and let's take this keyword, men's tennis shoes, and let's see what Google shows me for search volume. So I could click right here, discover new keywords. I could put that keyword in there, just men's tennis shoes, and it will tell me that in actuality, 40,500 people search for that keyword every single month, not a million. So that's a big, big difference. Is 40,000 versus a million is a huge discrepancy. This is where you got to just double check everything from AI and just make sure it really is telling you the truth. But this tool, it's free and it's from Google, and it shows me how many people search for that keyword every single month. And just by putting that one keyword in here, I'm getting 2,371 other keywords related to that keyword that I could go through and find keywords that look good, that make sense, and have high search volume. So you want to find keywords that have at least like 100 searches every single month. The more searches, the more competitive these keywords are. And that also means it's going to be tougher to rank for. Just because a keyword gets a lot of searches doesn't mean it's a good keyword. For example, let's say I wanted to rank for waterproof sneakers men. Gets 2,900 searches every single month. Sounds pretty good, but I want to search on Google and see who ranks. If it's a bunch of big corporations like Target and Walmart and Amazon, if I'm just a startup, I'm going to say this keyword is going to be too competitive. But if it's a bunch of websites that are similar size, then I would go for it. So if you're a small or medium-sized business, you want to find small or medium-sized businesses ranking here. If I just see Dick's Sporting Good, Adidas, Amazon, I mean, these are all big websites. So it's going to be tough. Nike is here. It'll be tough to be able to rank for these keywords. But then if you're a startup, but if you're a big brand, then go for it. But you want to find more niche, less competitive keywords. So this keyword, I would say, might be a little too competitive. So I'm going to keep going through here and finding these keywords that look good, that have good monthly searches, and then I'm going to Google it to make sure that I can really see how many people search that keyword every single month. All this other stuff on this page, there's a lot of stuff on this page. It's not really for SEO. This is all for Google Ads. The only thing for SEO that we want to look at is the monthly searches. Everything else is not for SEO. So if it says like competition high, that's not for SEO, that's for Google Ads. And right here, it's going to show you how much it's going to cost for Google Ads. So if you wanted to get to the top of Google, it's going to cost 19 cents for each click. Not that bad. Be on page 1 of Google. 19 cents is pretty cheap. But if you want to be at the top of Google, number 1 on Google for ads, every click will cost you $13.67, which is fine if you're selling something that's expensive. But if you're just selling a shoe that's $100, then you gotta make sure that 1 out of every like 8 sales or 1 out of every 8 visitors becomes a sale. Otherwise, you're gonna be losing money, and we don't want to bleed money out to Google Ads. So as long as you're making more than you're putting in, there's no need not to run the ads. I mean, as long as you're making a profit, I would keep running them. But in the long run, you don't want to rely on ads because $13 for 1 click is very expensive. And this is on the cheaper side. I've seen clicks that are $100 for 1 click. It could become very, very expensive. And that's where you just got to find good keywords that have low competition and target those keywords. And the great way to find those low competition keywords is the long tail keywords. I could say, give me long tail keyword variations. And it's going to show me a bunch of long tail keywords. And these keywords have more buyer intent, like best men's tennis shoes for beginners. So they know they want tennis shoes for beginners, or top rated men's tennis shoes for hard court. So if they're playing on a basketball court or tennis court that's hard, they might want to search for this. So this will give you ideas of these long tail keywords. You can then ask it like, group these keywords into related topics. And it'll kind of cluster them together into different aspects of what these searches are. So this one is for buying intent keywords. So these are all keywords related to buying. These are all feature-based keywords related to features. These are all court specific. So different types of courts that people would be playing on. They're brand specific. And again, you just got to take everything with a grain of salt. Some are going to be good. Some are going to be bad. And we just want to pick and choose ones that make sense. With keywords, though, it could also take your competitor's website. So like, let's say this is my competitor. I could take this URL and ask AI, like, what keywords does this page rank for? And you'd see it saying these keywords: men's waterproof sneakers, men's waterproof shoes, men's waterproof slip-on shoes. So this gives you an idea of what your competitors are targeting for keywords on each page. You could also do it for your own website. So if you have your own blogs or articles that you want to check, you could ask AI, what keywords does this page look like it's about? And it'll tell you, which is really nice, very helpful, and very powerful to look at your keywords. But as you can see, using AI is a good starting point. But if the numbers are that off from AI versus a Google Keyword Planner, then you've got to be careful, because 1 million versus 40,000 is a big, big difference in the number of people that are searching for that keyword every single month. Let me get back to where I was just at. Sorry. So here's an example of me doing keyword research, where I checked to see how many people search for SEO classes. I like to teach classes about SEO, and AI is telling me that 10,000 people search for SEO classes, but 15,000 people search for SEO training. If I just change my keyword from SEO classes to SEO training, I could get an extra 5,000 people that will find me every single month just by changing these words. It's really important to do keyword research for any content that you're putting out there on the internet, or just anywhere in the world, for articles, for blogs, for classes that you're teaching, for podcasts, for YouTube videos, for social media, for whatever content. You could do keyword research, and it does not take that long, as you could see using the Google Keyword Planner. It only took a few minutes to put a keyword in there, get a list of hundreds, thousands of other keywords, and then just picking and choosing the ones that are good. That's the tough part, is finding which keywords have high search volume but low competition. That's the part that takes most time. But using a tool like the Google Keyword Planner makes it really, really efficient. And the more people that use AI, the more accurate these numbers are going to be. And once they're accurate, then we can just rely on AI to help out with all that. But right now, it's really in its infancy, and you just got to take everything with a grain of salt that AI puts out there, because it's not 100% accurate, but it's a good starting point. One thing that I really like about AI is that it can create content. So it can help you write articles, write blog posts. It can write social media posts. It can write your emails. It could do a lot in terms of content. But if you just ask it to write you a blog post, it's going to be really generic and very boring and very plain. And the way I like to use it is by having it come up with like topics or come up with outlines. It will help check existing content for any spelling or grammar issues. It will help you write content for your pages on your website, for your product descriptions, for your services, because each page on your website needs text. Google feeds off text. The more text you have on your page, the easier it will be for the search engines to read and understand and know what that page is about. If you're an e-commerce website, you need to write product descriptions. And if you just copy it from the manufacturer, that's duplicate content, and Google does not want that. So you need to write your own product descriptions, and AI will help you with that. If you're a service-based business, let's say you're a dentist, you might have a page on your website saying I'm a dentist, but you also should have pages about teeth whitening, about root canals, about all the different services that you offer. And each one of those pages needs text, needs content. And AI is really great at helping you create that content for that. It's a little easier if I show you again versus telling you all this stuff. So let me switch over and show you how we can use AI to help write this content. So if we're going back to ChatGPT, if we just go back to the same example, like men's tennis, let's do men's waterproof shoes. So let's say I want to write an article about men's waterproof sneakers. I'm not going to say write me an article. I'm going to say give me blog topics about, and it's going to give me a bunch of topics about this keyword. Then I can figure out which one looks good. And let's say I like this one, how to choose the right waterproof shoes for men, a complete buyer's guide. That sounds like a good title for a blog post. Then I'll say, give me an outline for this blog post. And it will write you an outline for this blog post. And this is where you have to go in and make sure this has all the correct information, because a lot of the stuff is not going to be accurate, and you got to tweak it and say, hey, maybe I don't want to talk about waterproof hiking shoes. Let me cut that out. Or maybe it's missing something. Let me add something in. So you have to play around with this outline. But you can see it's getting very, very detailed, and it will go in a lot of depth, which is really nice. Once you have an outline that you like and you've touched it up, cleaned it up, made it accurate, then you could say, write me an article, which I still don't like having it write you the entire blog post, but it will do it, but it's just not perfect. And it still needs that human touch to make it personable, make it read properly, make it really accurate. That's number one, is making sure it's accurate, because AI does those AI hallucinations and it'll make it up if it does not know the answer. So looks like it is writing it all out right now. Not sure what happened. Let me refresh this page. So it's failed to generate. So let me ask it again. Remember, sometimes you have to ask it a couple times. And now it looks like it is writing it all out right now. So here's the article using the outline that we created above. And this is something that then you can use on your website, but you have to edit it and tweak it and make sure it's accurate. Google, Bing, Yahoo, or Google said last year that we don't care who writes the content anymore. If it's human or AI, we don't care, because we can't tell the difference. We just want to make sure it is accurate. That's number one. AI is not accurate. It does AI hallucinations. So if you just take this and copy and paste it on your website, it might do more harm than good. But if you edit this, tweak it, make sure it's accurate, put in your own voice, that's what Google wants to see. And that's what Google will reward you. Google said, we don't care who writes it. It just has to be accurate and beneficial and helpful for the reader. As you can see, it's writing a really long article, very detailed. And then we could just go in there and modify it to make it what we need it to be, with any issues, any spelling changes, anything that we want to add or remove. We could tweak it and play around with it. Another thing AI can do is, let's go back to this page, this website, and say, can you spell check? If I could spell check. Can you spell check this page? Then we can put the URL in and hit enter. And let's see, I did not identify any spelling errors. The text appears to be well written and free of typographical mistakes. So that's great, looks good. And this is a quick way to just spell check your pages, or if you want to spell check your entire website, look for any grammar issues, grammatical issues, but this will help you save a lot of time. Content is one of the most important things for SEO, and is one of the most expensive things to create. In the past, I'd have to pay writers $50 just to create 400 words of text. Now with AI, you saw that it'll create that content in a matter of seconds. And for $20 a month, it will write really good content for you. I really recommend upgrading just to get the premium version, because of all the extra features, and the quality of content is so much better. We can still do it with the free one. It's just not going to be the same tier or quality. Let me go back to the presentation. And oops. Sorry about that. Let me switch over. And we were at content creation, how it could come up with content, and it is very, very powerful for content, and it'll save you a lot of time and a lot of money from having to pay writers, because you need to put content on every single page on your website. Every single page needs a couple hundred words of text if you want to rank. The more text you put on, the easier it is for the search engines to read and understand and know what that page is about, because they can't really read images or videos yet. They're getting much better at it, but they still rely heavily on text. And the more text you put on, the happier the search engines are going to be. And if you make that search engines happy, they're going to reward you with more traffic, because you're making the search engines life easier versus them having to try to figure out what this page is about. It's very difficult because AI or Google is just a robot. It's not that smart. The more you spoon feed it, the more information you give to Google, the more it's going to be able to understand and decipher what your website's about, what this page is about, what keywords you're targeting, and reward you with more traffic from those keywords. It can also help you with competitive analysis. So you can look at your competition and it will help you analyze what your competition is doing, because with SEO, everything is transparent if you know where to look. I could see what you're doing, you could see what I'm doing. And AI will help you get a little insights from your competition of what they're doing. And with AI, you could say, hey, here's my website. Give me a list of competitors to my website. Or you could say, here's a keyword I want to rank for. Give me a list of keywords that are, or competitors that rank for this keyword. And then it'll do what we did earlier. It'll show you the data in a table with competitive metrics and search volume. And you could separate your competitors into small, medium-sized, and large-sized businesses. The reason I like to do this is because a lot of people will come to me and say, Brandon, here's my website and here's my competition. And I'll go and I'll search for their keywords. And I won't see any of their competitors ranking on page 1 of Google. And I'll tell them, these might be your competitors offline, but online it's very different. Online, we want to see who ranks on page 1 for your keywords, and that is your competition. If you're a restaurant and you search for restaurants near me and you see Yelp ranking, Yelp is not a restaurant, but they rank for your keyword. And that means technically they are your competition online. Online and offline is very different. So online, we want to look at what Google shows, because this is going to tell us who your competition is, and it's going to give us insights onto what they are doing. So let me switch and share my screen again and show you how we could look at your competition and get some ideas from your competitors about keywords. So let's just go back to this example again. So if anyone doesn't have an example, you can always throw in the chat, and I'm happy to throw your website or keywords in there. But if no one has any examples, I'll just pull stuff off from just random sites and we can just check it out, because you can do all this later for your own websites. But if you do have any specific ones, you can throw in the chat and we could check out and see what's going on. I don't see anything yet. So for now, I'll just put like, give me a list of competitors for this website. And let's see what AI pulls out. So it's pulling out a bunch of other brands that make shoe or waterproof shoes, I guess. I'm not too sure what these companies are. I'm not too familiar with them. Hopefully this is correct. I'm not sure, but it looks good. And if these look good, then I'd say, all right, what keywords do all these websites have in common? And it'll show me what keywords these websites all overlap on. So show me that they all talk about waterproof boots, hiking boots, work boots, hunting boots, rubber boots, snow boots, fishing boots. So this is where you can pick and choose and be like, okay, I sell work boots, but these work boots could also be hiking boots. Let me now try to rank for the word hiking boots, or whatever these keywords are that make sense. You can pull them out and then incorporate them into your website, into your content, into your digital marketing strategy. We could also ask it like, give me or show me search volume in a table. And hopefully it will pull these keywords and show me the search volume in a table, which it looks like it is not doing it this time. sometimes you have to ask it a couple times to get the answer. It's really strange. So I could copy this again, and let's try asking it one more time. Let's see what it does. So it's not doing it again. And sometimes you have to ask it a couple times. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but you saw it worked earlier. And AI is really weird. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. It's really confusing. But again, AI is very, very, very new, and it's learning. And the more people that use it, the more it's going to be able to provide better results. But right now, it's so new, and it's full of all these inconsistencies and AI hallucinations, which makes it not the best, but it's definitely a great starting point. But let me switch back and show you now. I want to go over how to make some website changes. So you've done keyword research, you figure out what keywords you want to rank for, and you've analyzed your competitors, done some analysis on them, and now we got to make these changes to your website, because what we see and what Google sees are different. Google looks at your code for you to put keywords in different places. And whatever platform you're on, whether it's WordPress or Shopify or Wix or Squarespace, every single platform on every page will have an area that says SEO settings. And this is where you can put in your SEO settings for a title tag and a meta description. And AI could help you create these. So you've done keyword research, then you can say, hey, write me an SEO title tag for this keyword, or write me a meta description for this keyword, or create content for this page, which I showed you earlier, how you could use AI to help you create content, but it'll code for you, and it'll code. It could build websites for you. It could do a lot. It's very powerful. It could write coding, programming languages. So Google, Bing, and Yahoo, about 15 years ago, created what's called schema.org. It's a programming language that helps the search engines better understand what your website's about. And it will enhance your listings. So sometimes when you're searching on Google, if you're searching for like a celebrity's birthday, you'll see the answer is given you right there on the Google search results. That's all being pulled in from Schema. And if you could add Schema to your website, that's going to enhance your listing. And AI, well, ChatGPT and Perplexity and all these AI platforms are all using Schema to pull in websites. So if you want to rank on AI, you need to add Schema to your website. And the nice thing about ChatGPT is it will create Schema. It will code it for you. Then you just have to take that code and put it on your website. It'll create FAQ style content. So frequently asked questions is also something very helpful. People ask questions and want answers. And that's how a lot of voice search is. And if you want to show up in voice search, if you have questions that people commonly ask on their website and you answer that on your website, that will get you to show up on voice search, Alexa, on Siri. Also, AI is a lot of questions and answers. So if you have questions on your website and answer them, that will get you to show up in those areas. And let me show you. Again, it's a lot easier if I show you versus just telling you all this stuff. So if I share, let me switch over and go back to AI. And let's just go back to this website. Unless anyone has an example, if you want to throw in the chat of a URL, I don't see any. But for now, we'll just keep going back to this website. And if this is my website and I want schema, I'd say write schema for this page. And write schema for this page. And you have to do schema for every page, because every page is going to have different schema. So again, this is coding. So it's a little tricky. And luckily with AI and WordPress and Shopify, you don't really need to know coding. But what you do want to do is go through this and make sure it's accurate, because a lot of times it'll put up incorrect information. It'll put fake stuff up here. Like for example, this might be your product, the men's Outscape slip-on, but it might not be $120. It might be $140. And this is where you got to make sure and read through all this to make sure it's accurate, because a lot of times I'll see it put in like a company phone number. It'll say call for customer support, and the phone number is 123-456-789-10 or 0. That's definitely not a real phone number. So this is where you got to read through everything, but it is very powerful in what it could do and what it could code for you. And this just saves so much time. It'll also help you with that FAQ content. So like, let's say this page is selling, what are they doing? They're selling men's waterproof sneakers. So I could go into ChatGPT and say, give me a list of questions people commonly ask about. Then I'll put that keyword. And this will give me the FAQ style content or frequently asked questions that people commonly ask. And then I could incorporate them into my own website. I would not copy the answers because these are probably not the correct answers and you want to answer them in your own voice, but I would copy the questions verbatim. Like, what are the benefits of waterproof shoes? And if you can answer that in your own perspective and own point of view, that will hopefully get you to show up in all these other areas, like the voice search, the Siri, the Alexas, the AI chats or searches. All comes through questions and answers with schema incorporated into it. So play around with it. There's if you want to check to make sure the schema is correct, you could copy this code and go into Google and just search for schema validator. And then you just click on the first one. And this will let you put code in here. So you could paste that code in here, run a test, and it'll tell you if there's any issues or errors. And you can see there's one warning, and it will show you that this property as offer catalog is not recognized by schema for an object type of collection. Okay, this is very confusing. I don't know coding. I know basic HTML, but this tells me that something's wrong. So I could copy this and go back to AI and say, hey, the schema code above has an error. Please fix it. And I can put that error code in here and saying, you're right, this is not a valid property. So again, AI, it makes stuff up all the time. It's so weird. I don't know why it doesn't tell you that it's making it up, but it's even saying, hey, you're right, we were wrong. So just take everything with a grain of salt, double, triple, quadruple, check everything from AI, because you don't want to put out incorrect information. It's going to look bad and it's not going to be a good user experience. And we just don't want that. Let me go back to sharing my screen. Sorry, it's a little tricky with StreamYard switching back and forth, but let me get back to the presentation. And sorry, so website changes. So this is just scratching the surface. These are some of the more important stuff for SEO for website changes, but there are so many other things that are important for website changes and coding changes, but these alone are the ones that are going to have the biggest impact the fastest. If everyone just adds more text to every single page, creating that SEO friendly content, you could almost guarantee everyone will get more traffic just by adding more text. Then if you can start changing your title tags and meta descriptions, that's going to help even more. You could add schema even more. You can add that FAQ content, just icing on the cake, and it's going to help you do more than your competition. Essentially, we want to just, with SEO, we're not trying to beat Google, we're trying to do more than your competition. That's why we looked at your competitors earlier today, is because we want to look at what your competition is doing and what keywords they're using and do a better job of it, essentially. Then there's some ethical considerations with AI, is really use it as a reference. It's not perfect. It's a little biased at times. There's misuse and abuse where people just go into AI and say, write me 1,000 articles about dog food if you're selling dog food. It's going to give you a lot of low quality content, and it's not going to be a good user experience. And we don't want to provide a bad user experience, because Google will happily penalize you and drop you down in rankings. And getting out of the penalty is extremely difficult. AI is going to also have a lot of job displacement, but it's also going to open up new jobs for people that can write really good prompts or a whole host of new things. But it is going to displace a lot of like content creators writing articles, writing blogs, copywriting. That's all going to be taken away eventually by AI, because it could write content for you. It's not perfect yet, but the more people use it, the better it's going to become and the more accurate it's going to become. But really right now, just focus on providing value, making sure your content is accurate, make sure it's helpful for the reader, helpful for the user, is the ultimate goal. We want to optimize for Google and for people, but we want to optimize for people first and Google secondary. And that's going to get those rankings. And this was just scratching the surface of the prompts I used. So the prompts I showed you today were very, very, very basic and would not be something I would use. So the prompts that I use sometimes are like 2 pages long. The more you input into these prompts, the better the results are going to be. If you just say, write me a blog post, it's going to be very generic. It's going to sound like AI content. It's not going to be the best. But if you use the steps I showed you and then expand on these prompts, add to these prompts, like I put in my prompts, like write in English, make it non-detectable by AI, make sure you follow Google's SEO best practices. And Google will sometimes tell you what they're looking for when you write content. So I take all that stuff and put in my prompts, make really long prompts. And I'm constantly adding and removing and tweaking these prompts because there is no perfect prompt. You always want to be changing it around to make sure it's really giving you the best response. And I created a list of 40 of my favorite ChatGPT prompts for SEO. If you want to access that, you go to my website at SEOoptimizers.com/AI. That's SEOoptimizers.com/AI. And they can get access to that as well. But play around with it. Don't just use what other people use. Like even the ones I'm giving you, you should still personalize them and tweak them and make them your own, because the more you personalize them, the better the results are going to be. Like AI will learn from you. You could upload your website or tell AI, here's articles, here's blogs, here's videos I've done in the past, write in my voice, and it's going to learn from you, which is really crazy. Kind of scary, but the more it learns from you, the more it's going to be in your own tone, in your own voice, and resonate better with your audience. And that means less editing that you're going to need to do in the future, because it's going to know really who you are, which again is a little weird, a little freaky, but it is very powerful, and it's just a tool. And just remember, you have to use it as a tool. You can't just rely on it to do everything for you yet. Maybe in like 5 or 10 years, it will do everything for you. But right now, it's just so new. And it does those AI hallucinations, and you just have to be very, very careful with all that stuff. I do see a lot of questions that came in that I missed. So let me jump into the chat. That way I can make sure I answer any questions anybody might have. So I'll go through, and if anyone does have any questions, if you want to throw it in the chat, and I'll go through all those questions. But see, Julie is saying, is the objective to try and come up with keywords no one else is using? And no, because if you're a dentist and you're helping people with root canals, like there's only so many ways you could say root canal, unless you want to come up with a whole new word, but that's probably not going to have much search volume. So you want to find keywords that have good search volume but low competition. You don't want to come up with new words, because new words means nobody's going to be searching for it. And if no one's searching for it, that doesn't really do much for you. So you want to try to find keywords that people use, but the more searches, the better that keyword is going to be, but also the more competitive. If the keyword gets 0 searches, you could rank for that keyword, but you're not going to get any traffic from that. And that's not going to do much good for you. Romeo is saying, thanks for the demonstration. AI has really helped explaining what the different codes and prompts. Me too. I guess that wasn't really a question. So Romeo is saying, I did not realize that search engines were specifically targeting text too. And Google, Bing, all the platforms, they feed off text. They struggle with images and videos and audio. They could read the file name of an image. So if you have an image, you want to make sure you name that image with keywords before you upload it to the internet, or a video or a podcast or any content. Name those files with keywords, because the more places you can put that text, the more Google's going to be able to, or whatever platform is going to be able to read and understand and know what that's about. If you're uploading a video to YouTube and it's just called video.mp4, not good. If you're uploading this video, it should be like SEO class by Brandon Leibowitz .mp4. That's going to be much, much better. Julia is saying, how do you attach specific keywords to your website? Is it embedded in the code, in the HTML, or is it just looking at the text that appears on your website? And to go in and make changes into the coding is, you have to go into WordPress or Shopify or Wix or Squarespace, and each page on those platforms is going to have areas where you can add SEO settings. And you won't have to do that on every single page. Rumi is saying any strategies to applying SEO to volunteer groups. And it doesn't matter if you're a volunteer group, nonprofit, for-profit, it's finding the right keywords, putting those keywords in the right places to send those right trust signals to Google, or to send Google the signals of what keywords you're trying to rank for. And then you have to build backlinks, because all the stuff I talked about is not going to rank you without backlinks. Google's whole algorithm is based off backlinks, and you need other websites to link out to you. The more websites that link to you, the more popular Google sees you as, and then they look at those keywords on your website. But it does not work the other way around. If you're not building backlinks, Google's not going to rank you. What is a backlink? A backlink is a clickable link from another website that points to yours. Let's say you're reading an article on the latimes.com. In there it says Brandon Leibowitz. You click on it and it goes to my website. I would be getting a backlink from the latimes.com. The more websites that have clickable links that point to yours, the more trust Google's going to give to you, and the higher they're going to rank you. Unfortunately, you can't use AI to build backlinks. That's why I didn't cover it today. But it is the most important thing for SEO. Without backlinks, it's not possible to rank on Google. All this stuff I talked about today is very important, but if you don't have backlinks, Google's not going to trust you, and they're not going to rank a website that they don't trust. And I have lots of classes that I've done. I hopefully will do another one in the future where I can show you how to build backlinks. But for today, I was just showing you how to use AI for SEO, and AI you can't use for backlinks. Julie was saying, can you somehow embed text into an image to make it findable? And the way you add text to an image is a file name. So the file name is the only area that I could add text to an image. If you just add text on an image, they're not going to be able to read it. But if the file name has text, and then the alt tag, when you upload it to your platform, it's going to say, what's the alt tag? If you add text there, that's going to help Google better understand what that image is about. But they can't really read images yet. They're getting much, much, much better at it, but they still are not there yet. I'm not sure if I missed any other questions. If I did, you got to throw it in the chat. If you have any questions in the future, you can always email me too. My email is brandon@seooptimizers.com. If you do have any other questions, I'm happy to answer them now, or you can always email me, and I'm happy to try to help out as much as I can.
Hey, Brandon, just adding myself back into the presentation, and we did have some great questions. I don't think you skipped any. You got everything. So if any of our viewers have any other questions, but it looks like we covered everything. So Brandon, thank you so much. That was very interesting. I think I've mentioned to you, I'm not a business person, so I don't have a mind for a lot of this, but even just your very first introduction talking about the long-term keywords, that has applications in the library world, which I'm in. If you use this very broad keyword to search a catalog or something, it's not helpful. So this idea of coming up with a phrase and then finding the competitive ones and the more niche ones for you, it's very relevant to me. So I really enjoyed that. Oh, we have another question here. I think this is more for me. I hope I can learn more at the library. That's from Ruby. So Ruby, yes. The library, we have obviously an enormous collection of books. That's both print books as well as e-media, so ebooks and e-audiobooks. We have access to a lot of different trade magazines that might be reporting on AI. So there's a lot of reading material. And we do also have, programs like this from time to time. And actually, I believe tomorrow we have one. It's going to be right here at the library's YouTube channel at 12 o'clock, same time as today. And I think it's called AI for Small Business, just very, very broad, but that should be very interesting. So if you want to tune in for that, you can do that. I'm going to go ahead and put the library's events calendar URL up here on screen. All of our events, both in person and online, you can always find them there. So tune in tomorrow if you can. For the future, be on the lookout for that on the events calendar. For you, if anybody else who's watching, if you if you want to follow up with me about that, with some more resources that the library can help with, feel free to email me. If you see on screen under my name is my email address, and you're welcome to email me if you would like some more info. Let me put it up on the big screen here just to make it a little bit more visible. So go ahead and email me if you have any questions. But like I said, books and programs we do have. So anyway, I hope you don't mind me stealing that question, Brandon. Brandon, what do you have coming up? You mentioned you have, you do a lot of these types of presentations. Can people, I know you mentioned you have some great resources on your website. Any other future presentations you want to go ahead and let us know about? I know I put you on the spot, but.
I can share my screen again, and here is my meetup group that has a list of all my upcoming classes and events. And it doesn't matter if you're in Los Angeles or not. It's in Los Angeles, but they're virtual. A lot of them are virtual. Some are in person. So you can see I have one like in a week and 2 weeks, and I have lots of classes coming up all throughout the year. These are all live classes about SEO, Google Ads, analytics, AI, and I'll put in the chat as well. So
okay.
Or if you want to put it up on the screen, maybe the link to it. But the best way to do that is join that meetup group, and they could see anytime all my upcoming classes. That.
Okay. Not seeing. Okay, that sounds wonderful. Okay. I don't think we have any more questions then. Everybody feel free to, like I said, follow up with me, follow up with Brandon. There's more of this to come. Thank you again, Brandon, for joining us. Very interesting. I loved it. And yeah, viewers, thank you for tuning in. And we're just at time. So we're going to go ahead and sign up for today. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone, for coming out.
Bye.
Thanks for helping set this up.